Okay, in my previous video we have seen how to create this inputs in Splunk dashboard, right, using Splunk JS stack. Now over there we have discussed, like, we basically what we created one multi-select and a couple of drop downs over here, right? And while creating that, I also told you one issue regarding the multi-select, right? If I just select a specific value, this all should go away, because for this all we have given a value called star, right? So if you pass star and a specific value, so Splunk will, because we are passing star, so Splunk will basically fetch all the events with the release year of all the release year over here, right? So whenever we are selecting a specific value, we have to remove this all from the multi-select. That one fix we have to do. And another fix is, suppose we have selected couple of values from here, then after that if we select all, this individual values also has to go away, because again our intention is to filter all the years over here, right? So that fix we will do first. Then another thing we will discuss today is how to pass tokens from these guys, from this multi-select, from these two drop downs to the below panels, because currently if I just select something from here, it is not refreshing the below panels over here, right? So that token we will see how to pass over here. So first let us try to fix this multi-select issue, and the same thing I have discussed in my video on the multi-select. Maybe I'll just try to use the same code over there. Okay, so in that particular video I have discussed thoroughly, like, why I am doing that particular code. Maybe I'll just discuss briefly about the code over there. Okay, so for that let us go back to our code over here. Now if you remember, in that particular video I have created this multiselect.js, right? So maybe I'll be giving you that video description over here as well, so that you can refer that particular video. Now over there what we have done, we have basically, so whenever you want to access a particular drop down values, okay, or particular component value in Splunk dashboard, so we use basically this Splunk JS.mvc library over here, okay, and mvc.components.get. so this was the ID of that multi-select in that particular video I have given. So I just access with this one, then I just handled this change event of that multi-select. That means whenever you are selecting some value from that multi-select, now over here what we have done it, like, we first taken a variable called first choice val, if you see it over here. So this is nothing but the first value. That means if I just go back to my dashboard over here, the first value you have selected from here. So let me give you an example over here. Okay, now let's say I selected all, then 1985, right? So according to our code, the first choice value will be all, okay, and that means its index is 0 basically. So in this first if block we are checking, right, if we have multiple values selected, that means the current val is the current value of the multi-select, if you see it over here. So current val dot length will be greater than 1 if we have selected multiple values over there, and the first choice val, that means the all, the index of all is 0 over here. That means all is selected and some other specific value is selected. Then we are just removing this first choice, that means all, from the multi-select. And in the second if block, we are again checking if we have multiple values selected, and the value of all is greater than, that index of the value of all is greater than 0. That means we are handling this particular scenario when we have multiple values selected over here and then we selected all over here, right? So the index of all will be greater than 0 over here. That means all is not selected at the first. That in this case I have to remove these specific values from this multi-select, right? So that is what we have done it over here. We are just placing the first choice value, that means all, in the multi-select over here. Okay, so we will try to use the same code over there in our tmdb.js file. Okay, so after the multi-select drop down, so this is the multiple drop down over here. So this is the manager ID. Okay, so after this one what we'll do is we'll paste this code over here. Now, as I said, this will be the ID of the multi-select. So for us, the ID of the multi-select is this guy over here, right? So we'll copy and paste this one. Now rest of the code should work as is over there, right? So let us save it and let us try to test it out once. So for that, what we'll do is we will do a bump over here, and then let us remove these guys over here and refresh this dashboard once. Okay, it did not display anything over there. Let us see whether it is any error coming or not. Yes, MVC is not defined. Okay, so to use this one, what we have to do it over there. So let us go back to our Visual Studio Code over here. Okay, so in multiselect.js we have included this particular library as I discussed over there, right? So you have to include that over here as well. So I will be including that over here. I will give it a name called MVC, right? So that MVC only we have used it over here, mvc.components.get, that component ID over here, right? So let us bump it again as we have changed it and refresh this particular dashboard over here. So if everything goes fine, so that behavior will be reflected now. So if I select 1985 now, if you see the all is gone now, right? So after selecting some value, if I just select all over here, if you see the other values are gone over here now. Okay, so that means we are able to fix the issue of the multi-select over here. Now let us try to see how we can pass these tokens to the below panels over here. Okay, so for that, if you just go to Splunk documentation, now there is a syntax for creating tokens over here. It's called mvc.tokenSafe, then the token name. Now this one MVC we already included in our dashboard code over here, right? This particular library is splunkjs.mvc, right? So this particular library actually works with different kinds of token level details over here. Okay, now we use a method called tokenSafe to create a token in JS, because it may happen that your token, the value of that particular token includes a dollar, just like this one over here. If you see like $1.00, right? So in those cases, if you just use the normal token syntax, just like this one, so it will not work properly over there. That's why it is always safe to use this guy to create a token over here. And how you will do it? If you just see the web framework component reference, okay, this is for the Splunk multi-select over here, and the same stuff exists for drop down as well. So there is a property called value over here, which holds the current value of the particular component, or either you go for multi-select or drop down over there, right? So if I just, for this particular property, if we just set a variable using that mvc component.tokenSafe, mvc.tokenSafe, okay, so that will basically create the token for me. So that particular operation will be similar to this one. So if I just, this is our TMDB first dashboard, which we created fully in XML, right? So if I just go to edit, when you add some input over here, right? So if I just go any particular input, you give a token name over here, right? So that token we are going to create it now over there, because this token only will be passing into the subsequent searches over there, right? So what we'll do is we will just copy this guy over here, value equals to mvc.component, mvc.tokenSafe, then the token name over there. So for this is our multiple drop down definition, we'll be adding it over there. Okay, now we will follow the same token name we have used it in our XML dashboard. Okay, so the token name is release underscore year, so we will give the same name over here, the token name. Okay, so this is the token we have created for our multi-select, right? So the same way we will be creating for our gener ID and as well as for original language, right? So let us try to use the same token names over here. So gener ID, we have used the token name gener underscore ID. so we will give it over here. Okay, and for original language we have used the token name as orig.ln, so that we will be using it over here. Okay, so we have created these tokens. That means whatever current value we will be selecting from this drop down, it will be stored inside this particular variable over here. Now our job is to use this particular token in our searches, right? Now if I just show you the code for this particular XML dashboard, what we have done it, like for each and every panel level we have basically added this one, right, to pass the tokens over there. So we will do in similar way. Okay, now before that there is a catch over here. Okay, now drop downs are fine. For multi-select, if you have seen, so if I just go to UI over here, it will be easier to understand. So if I just select on the multi-select, apart from the token name, we have also given these things, right? The release year, the value prefix, the value suffix, and the delimiter, right? So that means the token, the value of the token will be something like this one: release year equals to the first release year value, or release year equals to the second release year value, or it's go on, right? So multi-select for in JavaScript also we have to do in the similar way. Okay, so this is called the token transformation. So we will see it later part of this video, but first we will see the basic one, how to pass this gener ID and the original language at the search level over there. Okay, so to do that one, what we'll do is we will copy this guy over here. Okay, this guy, search, we'll remove this release year for now. Okay, so for each and every search level, that means this is our single panel post process search, right? So we have added our tokens. If you see it over here, we added our tokens at the panel level over there, right, for each and every panel. So we will do in the similar way over here. So this is our single panel post process search over there. So we will be adding our tokens over here. Okay, so for now you will just remove that multi-select drop down token from here. Okay, we will just select the basic one, then we will select the advanced one. So this is how we will be adding it. Now the same way we have created the token for this value, right, mvc.tokenSafe. So now for each and every, now you can use token in lot of places over here, right? Suppose let's say in your post process search you are passing the earliest and latest time. Over there also you can pass tokens over there, right? It could be any places you can pass token over there. Now there are a couple of syntaxes. Either you can use this mvc.tokenSafe everywhere you use tokens in your search definition, or you can just say this one. So if I just go to Splunk documentation, so there is a syntax called token equals to true. Okay, so let me maybe explain it in this way. If you see it over here, they have created the two search managers over here, first one and the second one. Okay, now they both do the similar kind of stuff. Over here if you see that they have passed the earliest and latest time, and they also pass some tokens over there as well, right? So now, as I told, everywhere you use a token in your search definition, you have to either do it with mvc.tokenSafe everywhere. If you see that first example, they have passed the mvc.tokenSafe everywhere, or you can just write this token equals to true in your search definition. So that will basically handle for all of this token safe stuff over there. Okay, so this is the concise one, so I'll be using this one in my search definition. So inside this bracket, tokens equals to true over here. Okay, so let's do that one for other charts as well. So first I will add this tokens equals to true. So this is for my bar chart post process, this is for my line chart post process search, right, and this is my movie details post process search over here, right, and I will be adding the similar kinds of token passing over there as well. Okay, so this is here for the pie chart, here for the bar chart, here for our line chart, and here for our movie detail chart over here. Okay, so let us try to test it out, this two drop downs, at least it is working or not. So we will bump it once, we will refresh this dashboard again. So if everything we did correctly over here, so if I just select some value from the general ID over here, it should properly refresh this dashboard over here, if you see, including this detail dashboard over detail panel over here as well, right? Now I can apply another token. Let's say language will be EN over here. It will be further filtering this dashboard over here accordingly. Okay, so we successfully implemented the token passing for the general ID and the original language drop down. Okay, now let us try to see how we can transform the token of this multi-select to include, right, just like we discussed before, right? Release year equals to the value, or release year equals to the other value we selected from here. Okay, now to do that, what we'll do is we will go to our JS code over here for the multi-select. Okay, now over here, if you see it, like we were handling that change event to modify the multi-select value over there, right? So we will be inside the change event only, so that we need the modified value, and based on that we will transform that token over there, right? So over here, if you see, like when we started, we checked the current value, then based on that current value of that multi-select, we basically modified, right? So now if I just take another variable, let's say modified val equals to multi.multi1.val over here. Okay, so this will be the value of the multi-select after we did our own manipulation over there, right? Let us try to see what is printing it over here. Okay, so that will give us some idea about how you should be approaching with this particular transformation, token transformation over here. Okay, so I'll just do a console.log over here. So let us bump it once and refresh it over here. Okay, now as we have did some console.log, so I'll press F12 over here. Now if I just select 1985 over here, if you see, it basically created an array called 1985 over here. If I select 2015, if you see, it is creating an array of 1985, then 2015, 2018, it's creating an array of these three elements over here. That means whatever we are selecting from the multi-select, behind the scene it is basically creating an array of these three elements over there, right? So that's a good news. So what we'll do is we will loop through this particular modified val over here, right? So let us do that one. So other console.log, we will just comment it, because that's why it was printing multiple times over here. Okay, so now this is how we will loop through it using the jQuery each. Okay, so for each modified val, okay, we will run a function over here. Okay, inside the function we will be having the index and the item value. Item means this values, and index means they are index 0 from 0 1 to something like this one. Okay, so inside that function we will basically add our logic over here. So what we have to do it over here, so we have to basically transform the token so that it will have a string something like this one over here. If I just show you in the UI level of that XML dashboard for the release year drop down, it should be something like this one, right? So let us do that one. So for that we will create a variable, let's say transformed release year. Okay, for FORMED release year equals to this one. Okay, so we will initialize this particular variable with blank, then we will write something like this one, just like we did for normal stuff. Release year equals to transform release year plus the release underscore year, just like we have it over here, right? So we will copy this guy over here. So release year equals to, So inside single quote we will say release year equals to, then we have to have a value. That means if I just show you over here, it should be release year equals to 1985 or release year equals to 2015, something like this one. That means after release year we have to provide the value of this particular guy over here, right? That means the item, the value of the item over here, right? So the item, then plus with that inside the single quote we have this double quote ends, then plus we will be having a or over here, space or space, correct? So after we did this one for each and every modified value, that means each and every item of this particular modified value. So let us try to print this one. So console.log, if I just print this transformed release here, let us try to see how it is transform itself. Okay, so we will bump it once, we will refresh this particular dashboard over here. Okay, so now if I just select 1985, if you see it has created a string called release year equals to 1985, or if I select 2015, release year equals to 1985 or release year equals to 2015 or something like this one. So that means every time it is adding a or at the end of the string over here, right? So we just need to get rid of this or, and then we are done over here, right? So let us try to do that one over here. So you will do something like this one. We'll create a new variable, let's say release year token val. Okay, token value equals to, what we'll do is from this transformed release year we will just take the substr, correct? So it will be from 0 till my last index of or. If I just show you over here, if I just take the last index of or -1, so I'll be basically taking up till this 2015 over here, right? This portion over here. So that is what we will be doing it over here. So we will say from 0 till transformed release year, transformed release year dot last index of or, okay, then -1. Okay, so that will be my release year token value. Okay, so if I just remove this console.log and paste it over here, so let us try to see how our transformed token, that means that or is gone or not. So we will just bump it again, we will refresh this particular dashboard. Okay, so if I just select 1985, so it is properly giving me 1985 over here, 2015. So now the last or is gone over there now, right? So this value I can use for my token value now. Okay, so what we will do it over here now is I will basically, so if you see it over here, this mvc.components.get, if you just pass a specific component ID over here, it will give you the details of that particular ID. So if I just need for all the components, so there is a default token model over here as well. Okay, so if I just say default token model, okay, and over here if I just pass default over here, so this will basically give for all the tokens over here. Okay, now why I did this one, because with this particular value, whatever we have derived it over here, I'll basically set a new token, okay, then use that token in my searches over there. So for that, what we'll do is we will say default token model, okay, default token model dot set, and over here we have to give the token name and the token value. We will give the token name as release year transformed, okay, and the value of this particular token will be this token value, whatever we have derived it over here. Okay, and you have set the new token over here, because because the actual token value of this particular multi-select was release underscore year, right? So we are not using this particular token in our searches. We will be using this particular token in our searches because we have transformed this token to do something else over here. Like we have basically transformed it to this guy over here, right? So for that one, we need to have a initial value of this token as well, because the initial value of the release was release underscore year was star over there. So we have to do in similar way. So what we'll do is we will basically initialize in this way. Outside of this change event, okay, we'll set it as for this guy as star over there. Okay, so if we did everything correctly, so ideally if we just select now from something from multi-select, our underlying panel should be refreshed as well. Okay, let us test it out. So if anything issue occurring, we will try to fix it as well. So we will refresh this particular dashboard. Okay, so if I just select 1985 from here, it did not filter because we have not passed this particular token to our searches. So let us do that first. Okay, so this was our searches. We will pass it in similar fashion. Okay, just like we did it for the release year in our XML dashboard. So if from the source, if I just go over here, if you see, I did not say like release, just like other like gener ID equals to something. I did not say that because internally our token value will be something like that one only. Okay, so the similar fashion. So let me copy this one. Let me pass to all the searches over here. Okay, here for our line chart, here for our movie details search as well. Okay, so hopefully this is fixed now. So if I just go to the JS level dashboard, so if I select 1985 now, if you see my dashboards are getting filtered accordingly over there. So if I select another year over here, so it will be accordingly filtering. And if you see my year wise breakup also showing me these 2 years I have selected over there, right? So and if I select more years from this particular drop down, so it will be automatically selected as well over there. Okay, so this is how you pass tokens from your inputs to the underlying panels in your Splunk dashboard. And whatever we have done it in fully in JS. And as I mentioned initially when I started doing this one, right, so it has to be like whenever the best stuff you can implement through XML, you will be implementing through XML. If something you cannot achieve in XML, you should be coming up to the JS and do it. Okay, so as I was demoing for the JS stuff, so that's why I'm just creating this full stuff in JS, but in ideally it should be like better of this both world, XML and JS. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful. See you in next video.